of Vince Lombardi. Coming off their Super Bowl win in New Orleans, these Packers have set their sights on back-to-back titles. Although early season injuries have ushered in concern, the green and gold have demonstrated the resiliency and resolve of true champions. Outplayed and outmuscled by the Giants in their season opener, the Eagles' wings were clipped. But with Ricky Watters and a capable supporting cast, the Eagles are far from being fallen prey. Week 2 doesn't get any easier as the defending world champions pay a visit. As usual, a packed house at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The world champions, the Green Bay Packers, in town to face the Eagles, who got off to a disappointing start last week against the Giants. You know, the Packers went through last year, their championship year, without any mentionable injuries to speak of. But last week and previously before that, they had suffered some critical injuries. Newsom, Edgar Bennett with a torn Achilles back in preseason. And last week, their Pro Bowl tight end Mark Chmura. He'll be out from 4 to 6 weeks. And my question to John Madden is, how do you play a team like the Eagles or any team without a tight end?
Yeah, that's going to be an adjustment for him. Now, they do have Jeff Thomason, who's going to start at tight end, but he's a little banged up too. So what the Packers are going to do, they're going to use a lot of 3 wide receivers. And Antonio Freeman is really going to be the tight end, but he'll be split out a little. Now, the tough thing to do is to have any off-tackle or outside running with that. But you get Brett Favre, a 3rd wide receiver, and he can be more and more dangerous than he already is.
You know, the Packers were close to awesome last year. They defeated their opponents by an average of over 21 points a game. Now the Eagles face a challenge. How do they meet that challenge?
Well, you have to start out you're going to be in a shootout, and it can't be one of those things, well, we're just going to be ball control, we're going to run the ball to Ricky Watters, we're going to play good defense. You have to come in and say, look, the Green Bay Packers are probably going to score 4 or 5 touchdowns, so we have to think in terms of scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns, and I think that the Eagles have to come out with Ty Detmer and open this thing up right off the bat.
It is a rather windy day at Veterans Stadium. Clear on the warm side, but the weather should not be a factor. Coming up, it's the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles from Veterans Stadium. And John and I will be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues.
All right, we want to get back. We got to be hungry, and we got to dominate when we line up on this field, guys. It's all of us. It's all of us again. Let's dominate. Dominate. 1, 2, 3. Dominate.
For the Erickson Countdown.
Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. About ready to kick off between the Packers and the Eagles. I'd like to welcome those of you who saw Carolina beat Atlanta 9-6 in the battle of field goals. Today's weather here in Philadelphia, 78 degrees. The wind southwest 15 miles an hour. Partly sunny or partly cloudy, whatever you prefer. The Eagles have won the toss, and Ryan Longwell is set to kick off. Ty Detmer will start at quarterback for Philadelphia. Derek Witherspoon back deep for the Eagles, and he has been dangerous in the past. Longwell has a good leg. 5 yards deep into the end zone. They fake a reverse. The Packers are not fooled and down, and a good job by the special teams at the 12-yard line. Let's look at the offense led by Ty Detmer. Had a shaky week last week against the Giants, but Ray Rhodes has given him the start this week. In front of him, Mayberry, Panos, Everett, Beckles, and Brooks. Those who touch the ball, Waters and Turner in the backfield, Irving Fryer, Michael Timpson wide, and Jason Dunn is the tight end. Detmer brings him out, the ex-Packer. And they open with 2 tight ends. Ricky Watters, left side for a couple. Opened with Garner in the backfield with him. Here is the Packer defense. Among the best: Wilkins, Brown, Dotson, and Reggie White, the ex-Eagle and the leader of the pack. Brian Williams, Bernardo Harris in the middle, and Wayne Simmons, the other linebacker. Evans and Williams, the corners. Butler and Robinson, the safety. 2nd and 7. Just inside the 15-yard line. The Eagles took the opening kickoff. Go get him. Detmer. Outside Garner. Short of a first. Stopped by Doug Evans.
One thing we know, and the Eagles talked about it yesterday, is they're going to give a lot of formations. Every down they're going to have a different group of players in there. Then once they get the formation, they're going to have what they call a shift. In other words, they're going to show the Packers something, and then they're going to shift. And then after they shift, they're going to have a motion. So they've only run 2 plays, but we've seen that in both times. See, there's the shift. Right there, they've shifted.
3 wide receivers. Detmer, the heat is on. He had to dump it. And it's incomplete. Pressure from Brian Williams.
What they did, you know, anytime Fritz Shermer has that, he's going to put pressure on it. He's just bringing 2 linebackers right up the middle, and the guy that they didn't get blocked was Brian Williams. But that's a Fritz Shermer defense. You know, the offense scripts their first 15 plays, and Fritz Shermer scripts his first 15 defenses.
Hutton to punt for the Eagles, and Schrader, Bill Schrader. Some doubt about whether or not he'd play, but he'll return the kick. Looking into the sun. Schrader. He pretty much made the Packers and their fans forget about Desmond Howard last week. Brett Favre, 2-time most valuable player, 2 consecutive years. Michaels, Taylor, Frank Winters, Adam Timmerman, and Earl Dotson in front of Brett Favre. Levens and Henderson. Antonio Freeman, Brooks, and Jeff Thomason will start at tight end. Thomason is number 83. He was their 3rd tight end.
And if you're going to run off tackle or sweep, you need a tight end in there, and I think that's going to be part of it, where Thomason will play there. And then when they're not going to be in that mode, they want to get 3 wide receivers in, put Derek Mays for Antonio Freeman, and then let Antonio Freeman take the place of that tight end.
They open with Thomason lined up as a tight end on the right. And that's Dorsey Levens. Brett Favre carries the fake out.
You see that?
Yeah. Philadelphia defense light but quick. Mamula and Jefferson, the defensive ends. Hall and Thomas in the middle. The linebackers Willis in the middle, and Farmer and Thomas outside. Bobby Taylor, Brian Dawkins, the leader of the secondary, Zordich and Troy Vincent. 2nd and 6. Levens goes in motion. Favre back to throw it. With time right through the hands of Antonio Freeman.
Boy, does he throw that ball hard, doesn't he?
Ever?
We were talking to Robert Brooks about it, and he said that's a tough thing. He said it's not so much that the ball is so hard, but it's just getting around. It gets there, it gets upon you so quickly you're not ready for it.
That's exactly what happened.
Antonio Freeman was ready for that one, but it just went right through his hand. I mean, this is what you call a fastball. That's normal speed right there.
Yeah.
That's putting the mustard on it.
You better be ready.
And more, I think.
3 wide receivers. Excuse me, 3 wide receivers. Here comes the Eagle blitz. Favre lofts it out for Dorsey Levens. Those of you who just watched San Francisco win their first 15-12 over St. Louis, welcome to Veterans Stadium. 0-0 between the Packers and the Eagles.
What the Eagles do is they line up in that 3-man line, which gives them like 4 linebacker positions, and then they can blitz from there.
See who put the pressure on? Richard Dent.
Yep, yeah, that's what he's going to do. He's going to be a 3rd down specialist. The Eagles just signed him this week.
Troy Vincent back deep for the Eagles. Craig Hendrick. The kick it for Green Bay. Lets it sail over his head, and it pops into the end zone. And the Eagles will get their second possession. Both defensive units have done their job.
Well, and the Eagles are going to have a little a better field position this time, because remember on the opening kickoff they took the ball too deep in the end zone. They shouldn't have brought it out. Then they faked a reverse and they got bad field position.
They were on the 12.
Right, so they started in the 12. At least now in this exchange, the second time they get the ball, they're getting it on the 20-yard line.
Walt Coleman is the referee. 1st and 10, Eagles. Ty Detmer, the quarterback. Waters is deep. Ricky Waters for a couple.
You know, we talk about these teams knowing each other. Of course, Mike Holmgren, Ray Rhodes, both coached together, both coached for the 49ers. Ray Rhodes was Mike Holmgren's defensive coordinator at Green Bay, but the Packers also know Ty Detmer because he was drafted by the Packers and played with the Packers under Brett Favre. So they've practiced against him a lot. So they know Ty Detmer very well.
And he knows their defense, although it's changed quite a bit since he was there.
I'd take their defense.
Yeah. Detmer. Waters gets the carry and gets perhaps a yard.
One thing you can't do, Pat, is run at Gilbert Brown. I'll guarantee you, if this is what you have in mind, that you're going to try and run at this guy, it's not going to work. He's just too big. He's just too strong. They have a double team. He just splits it. He just throws the guard right into the backfield. It was Ian Beckles there trying to block it, but you're just not going to get it. I mean, Steve Everett, the center, started to help Beckles, and just nothing happened. Big Gilbert Brown just split that thing, and boom, there's nowhere to go. That's not a good idea.
Trying to block him is well said. Here comes the blitz again. Waters makes the reception, is taken out of bounds immediately by Robinson.
You see, and that's exactly what happens in this offense if you don't create those 3rd and short. That's why John Gruden was saying the other day that 1st and 10 is so important. They pick up something on 1st down, because if they're 3rd and long, this offense, and Ty Detmer is not a good quarterback to play 3rd and long. And we just saw what happened. He throws a 2-yard pass. It's 4th down and after punt.
Tommy Hutton back to do the honors. His first punt today went 42 yards. Schrader is deep for Green Bay. This one, if it's handled correctly, should be returned. Schrader to the 35, perhaps 36. Knocked out of bounds by Watson.
They know who Schrader is now. I mean, they saw him on Monday night. And there wasn't, Bill Schrader had played for the Rhine Fire in the World League, and they weren't sure who he was. He got a couple of big returns, and not only gave Schrader a lot of confidence, and the Packers a lot of confidence in Schrader, but it also gave those opponents a marked guy. And I don't think Bill Schrader was a marked man with the Bears on Monday night.
No.
Bill Schrader, as a punt returner, is a marked man to these Eagles special teams.
There's some question about his availability, too. He got a deep thigh bruise, a Charlie horse, in practice on Thursday. 3 wide receivers this time for Green Bay. To Levin. Willis met him head on.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you have 3 wide receivers, the only running game you have is an inside running game, and then a middle linebacker like James Willis can do something about it, because you don't have to worry about off tackle. All you have to do is look. They know that they're going to run in here if they're going to run because he's not a blocker. You get an extra guy right here, so they're going to have an extra guy against the run. Now watch James Willis. He sees it now, and boom! He just steps right up in the hole and straightens everything up.
That's the way to fill a hole.
And then that's the way to get underneath shoulder pads and explode.
2nd and long. Levins again. Slung down at the 40. James Willis again.
Yeah, Mike Mamula played that pretty well, the right defensive end, and then he let the running back run right by him. I think he was playing the block. He was playing John Michaels, got off of John Michaels, and then didn't even see Levins run right by him. Mike Mamula, I think, considers himself a pass rusher anyway, and he's pretty good at it.
Tampa Bay's 2-0, and those of you who watched that victory by the Buccaneers, welcome to Veterans Stadium. Brett Favre back to throw, and the pass is incomplete. There's no score here. Bill Schrader was the intended receiver.
They've had pretty good defense here. I mean, you see right here, here's Schrader here. They're going to run a slant. Now, they're just playing a slant. You see, they were just waiting in there for the slant. Schrader ran right into the defense, and worse than that, Brett Favre threw it right into the defense.
Greg Hendrick. His first punt went 45 yards. Mark Say back to return. This is a dandy. Bounces into the end zone and out. And the Eagles once again will take over at their own 20. No score at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.
Is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the three most important words are, hey, beer, man. By the owners, managers, and crew who proudly call the McDonald's in your neighborhood my McDonald's. By American Express, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. And by Gateway 2000 Direct Personal Computers.
Pat Summerall, John Madden. At Veterans Stadium, no score between the defending world champion Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Here is Detmer back to throw. Gets to Irving Fryar, who carries the Green Bay defender for first down yardage.
Well, I think that's probably the first play over 5 yards in this game by either team.
I think it is.
You're going to see Irving Fryar. We talked about shifts and we talked about motion. Fryar came in motion all the way across the backfield. Then he just stopped, and that's an option pattern. If the guy plays you inside, you go outside. If he plays outside, you go inside. Irving Fryar hooked up, stopped, and went to the outside.
Nobody behind Ty Detmer this time. I think it's going to be a pass. Batted down by the Packers.
Hey, once you have no one in the backfield, that either Ty Detmer is going to run a quarterback draw or it's going to be. Let's just watch the pass rush here on the clicker, and you'll see what happens here. Here comes the blitz right here. Here's a blitzing guy here, and once they get that motion and shift, they're going to have a free guy. See him? He just comes straight up the middle.
Three wide receivers. Detmer drops. Waters hit in the backfield. They were trying to set up some sort of a screen, but Brian Williams read it perfectly.
You know, Brian Williams is going to be player of the game so far. He's the guy that blitzed on that last play, came free and hit Ty Detmer. He's made that tackle. Of the plays so far, I think he's been in on every one of them. There's Fritz Shermer, the defensive coordinator of the Packers, and one of the top defensive lines I think that has ever been in this game of pro football.
It has never gotten ahead of him. Detmer up into the pocket, which collapses. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at the Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Pat and John, Irving spikes 48-yard kickoff return, sets up kicker Orlando Mare's game-winning 29-yarder. That in OT. Miami wins at 16-13. Miami 2-0, and Marino has yet to throw a touchdown. Back to Pat and John.
0-0 here in Philadelphia. The Eagles, for the third time, will have to punt.
Marino hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet, but he's 2-0.
That's the name of the game.
That's it. And we can't forget it.
So no score between the Eagles and the Packers with 6:56 left to play in the first. Back at Veterans Stadium, Green Bay nothing, Philadelphia nothing. 6:56 left in the first quarter. Neither team has been able to move much so far. Green Bay averaging a 1.7 yards per play. Philadelphia 1.9. That won't get it done.
No, I think part of that is good defense. I mean, both the defenses have been aggressive, and I think on the other side, very tight offenses. I think the Eagle offense is very tight, and I also think the Packer offense and Brett Favre is very tight because he hasn't completed a pass yet.
Afraid to make a mistake. At least that's what it looks like.
I think Brett Favre just gets overcharged. He's throwing fastballs.
Incomplete. Brooks, the intended receiver, and that was another fastball going away.
And it takes him a while. You know, I mean, he's one of those guys, Brett Favre, that is a quarterback kind of in the, with a nose tackle or linebacker mentality. And I think he comes out all fired up like he's going to get in a fight or something, and then you get out here and there's no fight, and it becomes a finesse or touch game.
You know, most teams, the quarterbacks come out at the same time as the kickers and loosen up. Favre doesn't come out until the defensive line comes out.
And he's probably in there with the defensive lineman hitting his head up against the wall or something.
Yeah, this is Levin. Not much room. Out of bounds after 1 or 2 yards. Not much.
You know, Brett Favre has always had that problem, that he starts a game and he just has too much adrenaline flowing in him, and he's too excited. And he's a lot better once he gets calmed down. And he'll be better as this game goes on. So if you're playing against him like the Eagles, you want to take advantage of him when he's like this, because I'll guarantee you he's not going to stay like this. So when he is like this, you better get to getting him.
But he gets up for meetings. Here's Favre back to throw. Lofting for Thomason down the middle. Jeff Thomason limping. Couldn't get under it.
Yeah, and the Packers are really out of sync. And they, you know, watching them Monday night, they didn't look like they were in sync that night.
No, they didn't.
And then tonight they don't like it. Watch Robert Brooks here. He starts to make a cut, and I don't know that that his leg or something didn't go out on him, because there was a little hole there, but not when he was going to make that cut.
That's right. This one off the side of his foot. Mark Say back deep, handles it for Philadelphia, and he's taken down immediately at about the 13-yard line. Randy Kinder was down to make the stop and take him out of bounds. No score at Veterans Stadium. The famous Philadelphia cheesesteak. If you haven't had one, you owe it to yourself.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
No.
It doesn't take them long to make it either, does
No.
it? There it is. It's ready to go.
Personal advice is you got to eat it outside, standing up.
Yeah, and kind of with your knees bent and your
Yeah.
arms extended, and you bring your arms in, eat it, bend over, and then extend the arms again.
A little bit of a hunker is required. Ricky Waters breaks it outside, out of bounds. That's Kevin Turner, who's the blocking back for the Eagles. He has a concussion, we're told, and we don't know. If he has a concussion, he shouldn't be back.
No, I doubt that he'll be back, because I've been watching him here in the sideline, and there's been 3 or 4 or 5 trainer types around Kevin Turner the last 10 or 15 minutes, so they're watching him pretty closely.
2 tight ends for the Eagles. Waters goes in motion. Garner gets the carry. Gets away from one. Can't shake the second. Doug Evans takes down Charlie Garner.
Yeah, that's a pretty dangerous setup when they have Ricky Waters and Charlie Garner in there together. That's a package they call Rocket. And, you don't have a blocker there. I mean, there's no Kevin Turner in there, and Ricky Waters isn't a great blocker, and Charlie Garner isn't a great blocker, obviously, but threats as runner, both of them, and threats as receiver, both of them.
Somebody needs to block it for the Rocket. Detmer. Pass incomplete, intended for Timpson, who juggled it. Might have been deflected.
Yeah, I think somewhere Ty Detmer and the Eagles are going to have to start throwing some outside stuff, because all their stuff is inside and slants and those kinds of things, and if you don't throw to the outside, then pretty soon they're going to load up on the inside and the inside zones and just let those outside or flat and out areas go, not cover them.
3rd and 6. Detmer back. Hit just as he let it go, but the pass is caught. And that'll be enough for a first down.
And that's exactly what he had to do there. He gets the rush, he gets rid of the ball, and we're just talking about, not throwing the slant areas, but get it to the outside, and he throws just as he's getting hit, and he throws a perfect out pattern.
Freddie Solomon just picked up or activated this week by the Eagles. Makes the catch and stays in bounds long enough.
And he threw the out right to where, if it were going to be caught, it would only be caught by Freddie Solomon.
Well, John Gruden, the offensive coordinator, was saying we got to get Ty Detmer some confidence back. let him complete some passes. And he's got one complete to Fryer. Fryer cut down from behind by Leroy Butler, or he would have scored.
That's exactly what they had to do. They did 2 plays in a row. They went to the out, then they went deep. You just can't keep throwing those little ones, the outs and the slants. You got to go. And as I said, when Green Bay isn't in sync, they're not ready. You have to get them right now. And who's your big play guy? It's Irving Fryer. He makes a little out move, takes a big bite, and then boom, just straight up the field. Leroy Butler makes a heck of a tackle there. But this is what they have to do first. You have to get that line blocked. They doubled Santana Dotson and Gilbert Brown, and that lets Ty Detmer step up in that pocket.
First and goal at the 5 for Philadelphia. Waters down to the 3.
I think that was great play call on those 2 plays that got him out of that area. That out to Freddie Solomon on 3rd down, and obviously the big one. You get the first down, then you go out and up to your big play guy, Irving Fryer.
A very good pattern run by Irving Fryer as well.
He's been running good patterns for 14 years in this league.
He's amazing.
And the Eagles didn't get their package in. They had too many guys on the field, and they didn't get the right formation in there, so Ty Detmer has to take a timeout.
Right down here is where they'll start missing Kevin Turner, who's the lead blocker, of course, for Ricky Waters.
I think they ought to talk right now about passing this play on 2nd down.
They're at the 3. It's 2nd and goal from there. Fritz Zermer on the left. Green Bay defensive coach John Gruden on the right, who runs the Philadelphia offense. 2 tight ends. That's Ricky Waters. Down at the 1 by Gabe Wilkins.
Now, see, I think that 2nd down would have been a good down to pass on. You know, because on 3rd down, if you get 3rd and a longer short yardage situation, then it's tougher to pass on. Of course, they didn't have Irving Fryer in there. Irving Fryer made that big pattern, and then he came out after that game. So I think that kind of says that they were going to run on 2nd down. And then because they ran on 2nd down, they have to run on this down.
And Fryer came back in. That's he in motion. They lost the ball. They fumbled the exchange. Detmer either pulled out too early or the snap came too late. Packers, of course, saying they have the ball, and they do. Ray Rhodes beside himself. Fritz Zermer happy.
Well, you know, you're only going to get so many shots at this Green Bay team, and I think when you get them, you have to take them, and you can't get down there and have something like this, obviously. The ball did get up to Ty Detmer. It looked like he was just trying to take it to reverse pivot and hand it off, and the ball hit him in the knee.
And slipped through his hand.
Oh boy, is that something? They make a big play, and then they come up with something like this.
Reggie White, I believe, recovered it. He's on the bottom of that stack. Long-time Eagle. And they have so many heroes, but Reggie White certainly stands atop of the heap. Favre gives to Henderson, and Henderson pounds straight ahead and is knocked backwards. He got a yard, perhaps.
Yeah, we're talking about playing a good team like the Green Bay Packers and how you're not going to get a lot of shots at them. The Eagles just blew one shot that they had them, but they have another shot here. If they can keep them down here, not let them get a first down, they're going to get good field position again. If they can force them to punt, then this isn't a bad area to go for a punt block in. And when you're an underdog like the Eagles playing the world champions, you have to do things like block punts.
You have to make some things happen. Levens is the deep end. He's got some room. Slipped on the turf just inside the 10, or he would have had the first down.
Now this becomes a big down for the Eagles right here. I mean, they have to stop the Packers here from getting the first down so that, again, they can go for a punt block, or they will end up in good field position.
Well, that run by Levens gave them a little room. If they have to punt out of the end zone, they've got a little working room back there now. It's 3rd and 4.
And this is a passing situation for the Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre.
They go with Richard Dent on the Eagle defense up on top. Favre. That'll be a first down to Antonio Freeman. Now they're saying he didn't catch it. It hit the ground. And they will have to punt.
I don't think Antonio Freeman did catch that ball. Here he is right here. And you see, he's just going to run up far enough to get the first down, turn around and hook. And the ball was right there. I mean, Brett Favre has made some pretty good throws today, and the guys have just dropped them. You just see the ball right there. You see it between his legs. I mean, that ball hit him right between the 8 and the 6 and just slid right down between his legs.
And so Hendrick, 5 yards deep in the end zone. The Eagles don't try to block it. He gets off a good punt to Mark Say, who fumbles that and falls on it.
You know, both these teams are awfully tight. I mean, you know, the fans are starting to boo now because
doesn't take long here, does it?
Well, they have a right to boo. I mean, they get down there and things that you don't do in high school football, fumbling a snap on the goal line going in, you know, dropping a punt when you had a chance at a pretty good punt return. And I don't think that it's from not trying. Watch that ball hit Mark Say right in the face mask. That's the definition of looking it into your hands, but not into your eyes.
That makes it difficult to catch, doesn't it?
Yeah, when it bounces off your chin, it does.
So the Eagles take over at their own 35. There's still no score. The Eagles were close and fumbled. Detmer. Pass is caught by Fryer. And up for a first.
See, now they have something going out here on this right side because they've thrown an out. They've thrown an out and up, and now they can come back in and throw the ins and hooks and slants again. And that's what this is. You see, Fryer just comes up, turns to the inside. He has a lane open there, and Ty Detmer hits him perfectly. They really are starting to work on Tyrone Williams.
Yes.
Williams, of course, is the corner that is playing for Craig Newsom.
Newsom injured last week. This is Ricky Waters straight ahead. A yard maybe. The Packers seem to be having some difficulty with their footwear. That's about 3 changes for Reggie White.
Well, you know, that's a problem when you don't come in and practice on the field before. Now, the Eagles, of course, practice here all the time. Some teams come in on Saturday and they go to the field the day before and they work on it so they know what shoes to wear. The Packers didn't do that. Of course, they couldn't have done it anyway because there was a college game here yesterday.
Boston College and Temple played here yesterday. So the Packers came late for a late starting game. Green Bay nothing, Philadelphia nothing, into 1. Day and time next Sunday at 7/6 Central. The non-stop movie thriller True Lies, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. Next Sunday on Fox. True Lies.
Yeah, the Packers don't have a first down yet. They only have 20 yards of total offense. The Eagles have 117 yards. The score is still 0-0, though, isn't it?
Yep. They're still the world champions. Detmer's throw is behind Fryer, who one-handed it, couldn't hang on.
I think we can see in this Eagle game plan so far that the guy that's going to be their go-to guy is Irving Fryer, and that's nothing new. And in the running game, it's going to be Ricky Waters, so that's what we're talking about here.
It's in good hands.
And then, you know, and they've gotten plays with him too. I mean, they've run the ins, they've run the slants, they've run the outs, they run the out and up. Of course, they just fumbled the ball on the goal line when they were going in.
3rd and 9, they're 1 out of 5 in situations like this. Detmer gets it out to Chad Lewis, the rookie tight end who makes the catch but doesn't get enough for a first down, and they'll have to punt it.
Yeah, here's Reggie White. Let's watch how they block him. Barrett Brooks has been the right tackle, number 76. I mean, he's been the left tackle. He's starting a right tackle for the first time. And, you know, Fritz Shermer's going to give him. So they're running stunts and blitzes and everything, especially on those 3rd and long situations.
Tommy Hutton back to punt. This will be his 4th. Schrader and Pryor back deep for Green Bay. Hutton left-footed. signal is for fair catch, but the ball bounces and the Eagles are going to down it at about the 3-yard line. They kept it out of the end zone. And the Packers once again start deep in their own territory. No score at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 0-0 in Philadelphia. 13:58 left before halftime. The Packers, an uncharacteristic first 4 possessions, 20 total yards, 4 3-and-outs. Favre. That's his first completion. That to Robert Brooks.
Yeah, we talk about how sometimes Brett Favre starts, he gets a little excited. Just watch his first passes. I mean, he's throwing them there, but he's just throwing darts. You know, watch here, he's a little off. You know, I mean, he just hasn't gotten into a rhythm yet where he feels comfortable.
You talk about adjusting. You got to have time to adjust. When he throws it so hard, you can't. It's usually there, however. That's Levin. And there's the first Packer first down, Brian Dawkins.
But you know the difference between him and a lot of excitable guys is when he settles down into excellence.
Well, 2-time most valuable player of the last 2 years, the most valuable player in the NFL. And the leader of the pack, Mike Holmgren.
You see that ring on his finger? That's the championship ring, the Super Bowl ring. You can't ever take that one away from you.
Henderson, the big fullback outside the 20. You can almost hear Mike Holmgren saying to that offensive unit, okay, it's time to settle down. Let's run the ball a little bit, throw it when we have to.
And part of that is his job, too. You can see that they script. Mike Holmgren scripts the first 15 plays, and he's had 8 runs and 7 passes. And you see, Levens was going to be the big guy that was going to touch the ball most in his first 15.
When you ask any coach what they're looking for, and they say balance. And 8 and 7 is about as close as you get. Pass complete to Freeman. And that should be enough for another Green Bay first down. Bobby Taylor.
And I think, you know, just watch it here now. You can just see that in the first quarter, Brett Favre was still warming up. See, he throws that slant in. If you're Brett Favre, you can throw into double coverage. I mean, that was that, you know, that cover 2 with the corners are going to have him short, and the safety's sitting in there for that thing. And he just throws it right between the defensive corner and the defensive safety.
1st and 10 from their own 30. With Levens in motion. Take to Henderson. Freeman out in the clear, and Favre threw a strike.
And that was a beautiful throw because Brett Favre was under pressure. Freeman just dropped that. How many has that Freeman's dropped so far?
3 at least.
It's at least 3 that he's dropped. Watch this, but watch the throw by Brett Favre. He's gonna get some pressure, and his arm is so strong that he could throw. He doesn't have to have his feet in great position. See, he just threw that one just he was getting hit, and he stepped parallel instead of step forward, and the pass was a perfect pass.
Yep.
And Antonio Freeman, he looked it into his hands, and then as he brought it into his body, that ball hit his face mask.
It goes without saying, you got to make that catch. Did he get the timeout call soon enough?
I don't think so. As I was looking at the clock at 0, the clock said 0 before he said timeout.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
You're right. He tried to call a timeout and didn't get it done in time.
Yeah, we were talking about, you know, Antonio Freeman and some of those passes. I mean, it's not that Brett Favre has really been that cold. Part of it was he was a little overexcited, but Antonio Freeman there has dropped 3 passes thus far. But the thing with Antonio Freeman is, you know, you have to have a bad memory. If you're a wide receiver corner, you have to forget it. You have to get on the next one, and he will because he's a pro. And Brett Favre will forget it too, and he'll keep throwing to Antonio Freeman.
Brooks is wide to the right this time, and Favre rolls in that direction. He gives the ball to Henderson, and he is a load to get down. Troy Benson finally takes down Henderson.
You know, Brett Favre runs the bootleg well. You know, the thing where you kind of fake a run and then you keep the ball and it's a play pass and then you can hit anyone. Usually you roll out and you go to the outside. That time he just rolled out, pulled up, and hit his fullback, William Henderson.
For a 20-yard gain. Henderson in front of Evans, behind Favre. Evans. Fumble! And I think the Packers scrambled to get it back. It looked like Earl Dotson.
It was Earl Dotson. It was run off Earl Dotson's block. The ball came off a right tackle. Big Earl Dotson's a right tackle. Evans got hit and that ball popped and started to run, and Earl Dotson just goes right after it. Watch Earl Dotson. He's number 72. When Evans gets hit, the ball just pops right out of there. Earl Dotson was blocking, and he just throws everything on top of that ball, and you don't see it anymore.
They pick up yardage as a result of Dotson's recovery. 2nd and 1. Fake to Levin. Pass behind Antonio Freeman. Right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Pat and John, rookie Tiki Barber, 88 yards on the ground last week in a touchdown. Nice, nifty 4-yard scamper into the pay dirt here. Tiki Barber put the Giants on top 7-3, but Jacksonville is threatening. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
No score at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. 3rd and 1. That's Henderson who pulls his way for a first down for the Packers. Henderson says he weighs 249. Now, why wouldn't you say 250 instead of 249?
Because speed. If you weigh 250, then you don't have speed. If you're in the 240s, you can still have speed. Watch what Brett Favre does, Pat, after he hands off. But he hands off, and he goes and he makes a fake. That's why his bootlegs are so successful. And you know, there are linebackers that react to the stuff that Brett Favre does after he hands off.
Only Brett Favre.
Yeah, he does jump passes, he does options, everything after he hands off.
Brooks. Perfect pass from Favre, and he's down. Brooks is at the Eagle 10 by Troy Vincent.
Yeah, we talked about Antonio Freeman, you know, and how many he was throwing. Antonio Freeman dropped 3, so now he's going to start to go to Robert Brooks. Here's Robert Brooks here. He's going to come up, and then he's going to run a post pattern. See, in towards the post, and that is a perfect pass, and he hits Robert Brooks right on stride. Look at that ball come in there. I mean, that would be fun to have something like that coming at you and be able to have a stride like Robert Brooks.
Fun?
Yeah, it would be fun. I mean, if it came in slow motion.
Here's Favre. Sidearm. Incomplete. Robert Brooks, the intended receiver.
You know, and you watch Brett Favre play, he's out there like he's playing, like it's a game, and he's having fun.
Well, he does.
I know, but a lot of guys go out there like it's work and you know, drudgery and all this stuff. But he goes out there like he's just playing out in the backyard somewhere.
I imagine this is just exactly the way he played when he was in high school, grammar school. Just played.
Yeah, I mean, he does. And, you know, whatever happens, I mean, he's going to run, he's going to go left, throw right. All those things you're not supposed to do, Brett Favre does.
That's why he's so good.
Watch this. Here's Robert Brooks. He's going to run the pass pattern. Here's Brett Favre. You're going to see the pass protection, the drop back, the throw, the pass pattern on this side. You know, we started here. Now, Brooks is going to run the post up and in. And watch Brett Favre just make that throw. Right now, as he makes a break, he steps up and makes the throw. And Brett Favre gets back out of there, but he had great pass protection. He had the pocket so that he could step up and throw, and Robert Brooks never broke stride.
2nd and 10. Favre back. Screen pass. Henderson inside the 5. Mamula put the heat on Favre.
He put more than the heat. He clobbered Favre. Favre was looking to the right, and Mamula really clobbers him from the backside. Watch, Mamula's going to come from over here. See, Favre is throwing the screen to the right. He doesn't even see or feel Mamula. Mamula just wrapped him up alongside the head and just threw him face first into the turf.
He felt it at the end. 3rd and 5. Now when Brett Favre excels. Too tight end. There's Favre on the rollout. Submarine ball, flag on the play.
Mamula knocked him again. One thing, he was trying to get outside of Mamula. Mamula has some speed. Mamula's tough to get outside of. Brett Favre just realized that there's a penalty flag on that.
Holding against Green Bay.
This is going to be an interesting call for the Eagles.
Holding.
Turn it down.
On the offense, number 63. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Nope, it's not that interesting. We already know you just turn it down and make them kick the ball. Yeah.
Don't give him another shot at scoring a touchdown.
We watch Brett Favre. He's coming out here in a bootleg. I think at one point he just could have ran that thing in there.
I think so too.
He stopped and tried to throw back, and Mamula was right there hitting him as he threw it.
22-yard field goal effort by Ryan Longwell is good. And the Packers, after struggling, score first, and they lead the Eagles 3-0 with 7:54 left in the first half. Today's overhead shots of Veterans Stadium, courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes from Pompano Beach, Florida. The pilot is Dan Thomas. A lot of other sites around Philadelphia.
Not many. There's only one guy out there in the sailboat. Everyone else is either at the Eagle game or watching the Eagle game. Eagles have great fans, a lot of them.
Sometimes they're very vocal.
Yeah, but that's what they pay for. That's okay. At least they're there.
Kickoff return by Witherspoon. Mullen made the stop.
Yeah.
Packers 3, the Eagles nothing. 7:44 left in the first half. A much lower scoring first half than anticipated. Green Bay 3, Philadelphia nothing. 7:44 left in the first half. The Eagles have the ball at their own 30. 1st and 10. Hey, go! 4 wideouts, one of them a tight end. The pass is incomplete, intended for Fryer. Thrown high by Detmer.
You know, one of the worries of this Philadelphia Eagle team had been, you know, how their offensive line was going to do, and I think they're doing okay. I mean, you know, Ty Detmer's not getting a lot of time, but by the same token, he's been able to get some plays off. Remember that deep one that he threw to Fryer, and he's been able to have kind of a decent day. He's 8 out of 13. And I don't think the offensive line is doing a great job, but I think they're doing an average job thus far.
2nd and 10. That's Waters over the left side for a couple.
And if you're going to run, though, against the Green Bay Packers, you have to get number 93, Gilbert Brown, block, or get away from him. I mean, you know, I think the Eagles are just going too much at him, because this is a tough one. I mean, this is an all-day sucker. I mean, this is a type of thing that you're not going to get any movement on him.
How are you going to get him blocked?
No, you're not. I mean, you have to just kind of get a stalemate and then run away from him or run right by him, but you can't run anywhere near over him.
3 wide receivers. Detmer quickly to Mark Say. It might be just a little bit shy of a first down. Leroy Butler. Maybe he has it.
That is very close, and that's the problem, and that was why we were talking to John Gruden that they wanted to get, you know, have success on first down, stay out of 3rd and long, because they really don't have plays to get, you know, 10, 11 to 12 yards. They got a lot of plays to get 3, 4, 5 yards on 3rd down passing, but they hate to be in that 3rd and 8, and that's exactly what they were, and this is going to be very close.
They had already started to move the chains. And I believe Kevin Turner has returned to the Eagle huddle.
You know, they said earlier that he had a concussion, and now he's back in there. Either he didn't have a concussion or he's playing with a concussion.
He shouldn't be doing that.
Well, yeah, but they had a lot of medical people down here looking at him. I saw him.
Yep. He's carrying the ball. He got maybe a yard.
You know, that's the thing that you wonder about sometimes. It's like, you know, like Steve Young last week with the 49ers gets a concussion. They take him out. They bring in the backup, Jeff Brom. Jeff Brom gets hurt, and then they bring Steve Young back in. Now, either Steve Young had a concussion and shouldn't have been playing and can't go back in, or he should have been in there anyway. You know, sometimes teams do things in the heat of battle that when you kind of analyze them after don't make one heck of a lot of sense.
That debate about Steve Young is still going on. Should he have been in there? Should he not? Detmer has the pocket collapse. Gilbert Brown and Reggie White.
Gilbert Brown got the old Brown shuffle. You see that one? That's the move. When he that's the other thing. I mean, you know, we talk about what he can do in the run, but he can also do what they call collapse a pocket. He just takes the center effort. He just goes right by him. When he gets by him, then he just puts his hands out and starts to rumble.
Now, this guy weighs 350 pounds.
I know, and when he gets his stuff going up the field, it's rumbling. And when you're the quarterback, you got a rumble coming at you.
And it's a lot of stuff. Detmer. Waters. Charlie Garner, beg your pardon. Upended. Not a popular call. Play selection by the crowd.
Well, I said these Eagle fans are good fans, and that's part of being a good fan. If you don't like something, say it. That's your right too. But they better get big old Gilbert Brown blocked.
Gilbert Brown's name is up by. We got to find out someday why that name is on a shelf on the top of his head.
Because that's the way he's built. That's the way his head goes right into his shoulders. He doesn't have any neck, and you usually the shelf is caused by not having any neck. He lost his neck somewhere.
Weighing 350. This is Schrader. Knocked out of bounds.
How'd you like to be that bench? I mean, you're just sitting there minding your own business. You know, you're the bench, and you're looking. Here comes big old Gilbert Brown. I mean, you'll be this part of the bench. How'd you like to be that part of the bench? You're just kind of hanging in there. They built you. They made you. They put you in a truck, brought you down here.
You can't give up.
He's down there, and here comes old 93, and you're looking up, and all you can see is that coming down on you.
That guy sitting next to him, Reggie White, looks slim.
That's why Reggie White sits next to him, to look slim.
Well, Reggie was slim. We talked to him yesterday.
Yeah, but, you know, if you were that part of the bench right there, at the end of the day, you'd be proud, though, wouldn't you?
It would be tough to get insurance.
You said, boy, I upheld my end of the deal.
Favre, he didn't see the rush coming from behind him. He gets it out to Henderson, and Henderson gets about 6 yards. William Thomas made the stop.
Hey, this Eagle defense is really going after Brett Favre, you know, and he's running out of the pocket, but every time he throws the ball, they're knocking him down.
Amula's done a job.
Yeah, I mean, every time he throws the ball, anytime he moves and throws the ball, they're knocking him down. He's having better success of not getting knocked down when he stays in the pocket.
Brett Favre's a tough guy. Henderson gets the carry, met right at the line of scrimmage by Rhett Hall and Hollis Thomas.
I was watching a show this morning, and Hollis Thomas was on it, and he was cooking. Yeah, he was on a cooking show. He was cooking spaghetti. It looked pretty good. And then
I think he sampled it.
I know he did. It's all right down in there. And he cooked it, and then he cooked it for himself, and then he ate it all.
Oh.
There was no guest, no one else, just him. He had big old pots of spaghetti, and he cooked and ate the whole thing.
The key word being all.
Now you're talking.
Henderson is the lone back, and Favre has the pass almost picked off, intended for Brooks, and pass interference is going to be called on Vincent.
Troy Vincent did a pretty good job of, you know, the slant pass is such a big pass in this offense where the wide receiver goes down about 3 yards and slants to the inside, that the corners are playing it too. And Troy Vincent just jumps that slant. You see the slant is going to be down to the inside. Here's Troy Vincent. He's going to read it, and he's going to jump it right there. He's going to try and beat him in there to it.
Number 23.
What the interference was Troy Vincent had his hands on Robert Brooks when the ball was in the air. Because the hit was legal, was within the first 5 yards, so that was okay. But touching him when the ball was in the air is not.
Richard Dent, we were talking to him at practice yesterday, and he was saying, I still got a few more rushes left in me.
And he told me, he said, I'm going to feel better today, being yesterday, than I will for a long time. I won't feel this good for a long time.
So many great years with the Bears. The pass is complete to Henderson, and Henderson banging around. The ball loose, and the Eagles have it.
I think James Willis got that ball.
James Willis, you're right, made the recovery.
That's one thing about being a 250-pound fullback. When you get in the open field, they're going to get some real shots on you. And the Eagles do. They get one there. Boom, they get one there. The ball's knocked right out of there. And James Willis, number 50, just grabs it with his left arm. He just grabs it and swishes it in.
Now Henderson is 250. He was 249.
Or either that or he was 250. He's 249 now. He got something knocked out of him.
The ball. Willis has still got it. First and 10 Eagles to Green Bay 36. Packers leading 3-0. That's Ricky Waddle. Surge on the right side of the line gets him about 3 yards.
And we talk about first down being so important that, you know, if you want to be in a third and 1, 2, 3, or 4, then you have to gain at least 4 or 5 yards on first down. See, now if you don't, now they got to come back on second down and have a play that gets them at least 4 or 5 yards, because they are not a good team in third and long.
Second and 7. Waters again. And he didn't get the prescribed number of yards to put him in a situation they want to be in.
And that's why the fans are booing. They know that. I mean, you know, that if you're going to run, then you have to pick up yards, and you can't leave it at 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6. But Fritz Shermer's knowing that, and he, you know, because they can take away those things at 7, 8, 9, 10 yards and make you throw in this offense those things at 2 and 3 yards.
Big Gilbert Brown gets a rest. Packers have a 3-man front, but they're showing blitz. And the Eagles get nothing done before the 2-minute warning.
That is a 2-minute warning.
Walt Coleman is the referee. The Packers over the Eagles 3-0. That's the aircraft carrier Saratoga, nearby Philadelphia Navy Yard, which has been closed. All kind of retired ships over in that area close by Veterans Stadium. 3rd and 5 on the Green Bay 31. 3 wide receivers for Philadelphia. No blitz. Detmer. Flag on the play. Detmer, there was nobody even close to where he threw the ball.
It's right in that area where his left tackle Jermaine Mayberry was, and Gabe Wilkins, and I'll bet you that's holding on the left tackle, because that's where the official threw it. Where Ty Detmer threw it, I'm not sure, because there was no white jersey in that area.
On the offense,
only the end of the tunnel.
Penalties decline. 4th down.
Holding called against Mayberry.
Yeah, here's Mayberry right here. Here's Wilkins right here. The official throws it from the side. See, Mayberry, the reason he had to hold is because he got a late start and he had a double team. I mean, that whole play was an ugly play.
He got a takedown.
I mean, he didn't get off on the ball, and he was slow, and he had help. He didn't have to do that. But again, it didn't make any difference because they didn't take the penalty.
Chris Bonio, the ex-Dallas Cowboy, will try the field goal. And Bonio's kick is wide left. That broke his streak. He'd hit, I believe, 28 in a row. 49-yard effort. Hooked left. Don't forget, coming up, the Dockers Khakis halftime with JB and Terry and scores and highlights. And some strange scores from around the league today.
And I think our halftime score is probably going to be one of them.
One of the strange ones.
Because, you know, we know that, you know, that one of the most explosive teams in the league is the Green Bay Packers, and they haven't been explosive this half. And part of it, I think they were a little tentative. They dropped some passes. And the other part of it was the Eagles have really gone after them. I mean, the Eagles have been crisp. They've made things happen. They've rushed. They've knocked Brett Favre down. They hit Henderson. They caused fumbles. They're hustling. They're aggressive. They're flying to their ball. They're doing all those types of things to the Packers.
Green Bay takes over. The rush comes from the other side. Favre. Pass is out of the reach of Robert Brooks. Again, Mamula broke away from the Green Bay protectors. Michaels has had a tough time with Mamula.
Yeah, and if they're going to help someone, they're going to have to help John Michaels on Mamula because he just can't get the job done by himself. He just doesn't have enough quickness, and Mamula does have the quickness. At least
went right by him.
Michaels, when he went by him, at least he didn't come back to hold him or not. He just yelled, "Look out!" That's what a tackle does. You know, when a guy gets by him, he just yells out to his quarterback, "Look out!" That's why they call it a lookout block.
Too many lookouts, and somebody else will be playing. Brooks in motion. Favre back to throw it. Here comes Mamula again. Got away inside that time. The pass caught by Antonio Freeman.
But that's why Michaels can miss Mamula like that, because Brett Favre can get away from it. Mamula's going to take an inside move on John Michaels here. You see, he starts up, he goes into the inside, and again, Michaels has to yell, "Look out." Brett Favre moves outside where Mamula came from and completes that pass.
1st and 10, Green Bay. Favre gets it outside. Tight end Thomason. Knocked out of bounds, picked up 5 yards, stops the clock, however.
Yeah, they did two things that time for Mamula. One, they threw away from him, and two, they double teamed him. So, you know, we're not the only ones who see that Mamula's eating up John Michaels. They're seeing that from the sideline and saying, okay, let's give him a little help. And that's exactly what they do. Watch Mamula here and Michaels here. He's going to get chipped by the back, Levens. You see he gets there. Now watch Levens. You see they just end up in a double team and then throw away from Mamula.
2nd and 5. Favre back to throw again. Here comes the pressure again. Favre gets rid of it.
That time what they did is they sent Mamula on the inside and then brought the corner, Bobby Taylor. Bobby Taylor comes outside, so everyone is so concerned with Mamula that they all go in with him, and then Bobby Taylor comes outside. Here's Mamula in here. Here's Taylor coming from the outside. You see, they're all looking at Mamula. They got him blocked, but no one blocks nor sees Bobby Taylor.
They tackled him. Mamula.
See, here's Mamula here. You see, here's Bobby Taylor coming up from the corner. He looks like he was going to cover the wide receiver. They go in with Mamula, and he doesn't cover the wide receiver. He rushes the quarterback.
3rd and 5, and again, the pressure. And again, Favre lofts it into the hands of Brooks. They beat the blitz.
How in the heck did he get rid of that ball and throw it so perfectly? I mean, one, getting rid of the ball is something, but then throwing a perfect pass like that.
When you bring that blitz, you get man-to-man coverage in the secondary, and Favre is just too good. He'll beat that.
And Mike Holmgren is trying to calm everything down. And with Brett Favre, you never know what you're going to get. I mean, this is an amazing thing. Watch, you know, on one side we're going to see Brett Favre, and then on the other side we're going to see the catch. But watch him come back here, and he just throws the ball up there. Robert Brooks just runs under, and it's right there. Although the coverage wasn't very good. It was Charles Dimry who was on him. It should have been closer than that, because that ball wasn't a line drive throw. That thing hung up there for a while.
This is a Green Bay timeout. They have only one left now, and they're in field goal range. Remember, they tried to call timeout once before, and they couldn't get it called, or they'd be out of timeouts now.
That's right. So that saved them on that one.
He's been hurried and hit, but hasn't been sacked. Takes the draw play. Throws it sidearm, underarm to Antonio Freeman, who again can't make the catch.
You know, they say in the NBA that Michael Jordan is worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
I think in football, in the NFL, I think this guy right here, Brett Favre, is worth the price of admission. Just to watch him and the way that he does things. I mean, some of the things he does with some help, but a lot of the stuff he does on his own.
Somebody hit his arm.
I know. He's throwing. I mean, he's stepping backwards. He's stepping up. He's going sideways. This guy, to me, he's amazing. Plus, you know, through that all, he's having fun.
Yep. Here the Eagles showing blitz, and here they come after Favre, who lost it. Pass is caught by Derek Mays, who's down at the 1-yard line, a 1-foot line. And Favre takes another timeout there last.
That's that old fake stop thing. I don't know that he did take a timeout.
Maybe not.
No, he's trying to get him up there, and he's going to try and stop the clock because it's only set. Well, he has a first down, so he doesn't have to worry about downs.
Brooks left, throws right, incomplete, flag on the play. Maybe they weren't set.
I think everyone thought he was just going to get up there and throw the ball down. I don't know that the offense or the defense was set.
I saw him earlier signaling timeout.
Oops.
But the officials didn't see it.
Well, he started to go towards the Packers, and then he turned and went towards the Eagles. What's that all about?
The official.
Yeah, that was the old double dip on that one.
Both sides on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
He's not from around here.
Now, the good thing about that, too, for the Packers is that it stopped the clock. So now they have, plenty of time to huddle up and go in and call the play. Plus, they, having one timeout left, they still can run the ball.
First and goal. They get to 11. 11 doesn't make it.
Now they have to take their timeout.
And do you kick a field goal or?
No, I would take the timeout and run a play, because with 16 seconds, they could still run a play. And, of course, that play has to be a pass or a touchdown. I mean, if you score with it, then you don't care.
You don't have time to get the field goal.
No, it has to be a pass. They don't have time to run unless they know that they're going to run and get a touchdown.
Don't forget, again, coming up, the Dockers halftime report, the Dockers Khakis halftime report. And there have been a lot of interesting scores. Tampa Bay unbeaten. A lot of interesting things still going on.
But see, by going here on second down, those cheeseheads are all over, aren't they?
Put them on a cheesesteak.
That's where they end up on Sunday nights. But by passing on second down, you have a two-way go. You pass, and then if it's complete, it's a touchdown. If it's incomplete, then you still have the second go, which is a field goal attempt.
This close. I guess you could pass once and run once.
I
don't think you would, though.
You don't have any timeout, so it has to be a pass.
Favre rolls left. Chase goes in the end zone. Touchdown. Reggie Johnson just activated.
I think they're saying no.
They're saying no?
Yeah, I think they said incomplete.
Really? Let's look again.
Well, we saw Favre doing the celebration. Yeah, the ball comes out. Yeah. But you're going to see the ball hit the ground. Watch the ball hit the ground and then bounce back up. That's incomplete. That's an incomplete pass. They're going to go for it on third down.
Favre lost it. And a flag on the play. That'll stop the clock. Reggie Johnson again, the intended receiver. And the clock is stopped again with 6 seconds left.
Now, if that's, I think they're probably going to, even though the penalty will be against the Philadelphia Eagles, and if it is against the Philadelphia Eagles, I think with 6 seconds to go, I think now you have to kick a field goal. Because, see,
it is against Philadelphia.
Right, the penalty can't give them a touchdown.
I don't see the field goal unit coming out.
Then what they're...
On the defense, number 93. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's going to be an automatic first down, which doesn't make any difference because you only have 6 seconds to go.
The penalty is about an inch long, half the distance to the goal line.
And I don't know if the Eagles hold here, I don't know that they're going to get another play. I would think that you'd have to kick a field goal here.
I don't think they can run but one play.
Yeah, that's the thing. And if it's not a score, now if it's a score, then the coach looks like a genius. If it's not a score, time is probably going to run out.
The Eagles take this timeout. They have one left, but that doesn't make any difference.
Now, see, because you know you only have one play here and you're going for this touchdown. Now for the Packers, this situation can be a run or a pass. This is before they had to pass, which they did. In this situation now, they can run or pass, knowing that they're just going to go for it.
Or they could change their mind and send in the field goal team, but they don't make any indication of that. And if it's successful, I mean, Mike Holmgren just had a street named after him. It's Holmgren Way. They might make it a boulevard or something.
Well, he wanted a boulevard. He grew up in San Francisco on Dewey Boulevard.
Yeah.
I knew Dewey Boulevard because I grew up not far from there. They said, you want a street, a way, a boulevard, what do you want? He said a boulevard, and the city council said, no, you can't have a boulevard. You know,
Boulevard's got to have trees in the middle or something like that, he said.
This is a big play here. Frankie Winters is moving the ball closer to the goal line. Look at him.
And Favre is back to throw it and does throw it. It's incomplete, and there's still 3 seconds left.
That's the other thing they can do is throw a 3-second pass. Now they got to kick the field goal.
Mike Holmgren looked as if he didn't know what Brett Favre was doing.
Yep, he knew that he was going to throw it. He knew that, you know, he had 6 seconds, and he said, you got to get back there, boom, 1, 2, 3, and get rid of that ball.
Well, the Eagles have to get somewhat of a lift out of this.
I think so, and the fans realize that, too.
He made one field goal today. Longwell did. He hit the second, and that makes it 6-0 Packers. But they come away without that cherished touchdown. Mike Holmgren is headed in the wrong direction. Wonder where he's going.
I think he's going to talk to the officials, I would bet, because the Packers went out the other end, and he's coming over here to talk to the officials.
In any case, that's the end of the first half with the score Green Bay 6, Philadelphia nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Dockers Khakis halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.